Hello everyone, today we're going to present you a disease called the Parkinson disease. And my name is Robbie.
My name is Timmy.
And my name is Leo.
Let's start.
So first, let me give you a brief overview of the disease. So basically, Parkinson's disease is a degenerative brain disease that will lead to uncontrollable movement like tremor and stiffness. It may also lead to depression and memory loss in severe cases. Okay, so I'm going to elaborate it in the symptoms of the disease. So first, and is the most known symptoms of the Parkinson's disease, which is trembling. And the specific term of trembling in Parkinson's disease is resting trembling, which means that your hand shakes when you're not moving your muscle. For example, like this, you're not doing anything. But as long as you're starting moving your hand, it stops trembling. And second, we have cogwheel rigidity, which means that you cannot perform a behavior in a smooth action. You can only move like a cogwheel. Yes, like this. And also, we have bradykinesia, which is a hard word, but actually it just means a slow movement, or like inability to move. Your movement is going to be very slow, and you find that it's very hard to move your body. And lastly, we have postural instability. And this means that you're hard to stand with balance. Yeah, like you're always shaky when you're trying to stand. And that is because the disease is attacking your spinal cord. The postural reflex on the spinal cord stops working because of the disease. And also additional symptoms of the disease are difficulty with emotions, such as depression. And you can also have swallowing, chewing, and speaking difficulties because like this, the muscle in this part is not working well. And also you have problem with your urinating or constipation, and also you may have skin conditions. Okay, then let me introduce Timmy to talk about the risk factors of the disease.
So in terms of the risk factors of Parkinson's, there are both controllable, which are preventable factors, as well as uncontrollable, which are non-preventable factors. In terms of the controllable factors, there is the exposure to toxic substances. For example, one can contact Parkinson when they interact with herbicide, pesticide, or both in excess amounts, including too much heavy metals and detergents. So in terms of the uncontrollable factors, which are the non-preventable factors, there's first age, where individuals usually develop Parkinson's during their middle or late life, and people usually contact Parkinson when their ages are around 60 or older. It also matters in terms of gender. Males are more likely to get Parkinson's than females. Heredity is also an uncontrollable factor. If many of a person's relatives have Parkinson, the person is more likely to have Parkinson. It also matters in terms of genes because certain genes like LRRK2 and PINK1 in which there are mutations, can increase the chances for them to have Parkinson. So moving on to talking about the statistics. According to our research, roughly 1 million US citizens have Parkinson's disease, and roughly 90,000 US citizens start to have the Parkinson's each year. In terms of the mortality rate, in 1994, out of 100,000 people, it was roughly around 1.76%, and for the year in 2019, it was roughly around 5.67%. That's a lot. Indeed. And males are twice as risky to have Parkinson's than females, unfortunately.
Oh no.
What's more unfortunate is that the white population are the most vulnerable to the Parkinson's disease, and the second comes with the black population, and the third comes with the Asian population. And now, after finishing the research about the statistics, I will be giving the speech to the hand of Robbie.
Okay, hello. I'm Robbie, and I'm going to present you about the treatment I know it sounds horrible when Timmy says that how many people are getting it. I know, but like still, there's no cure for Parkinson's disease for now. However, we do have some therapies that can reduce some of the symptoms of this disease. So these treatments work by increasing the level of dopamine in the brain, having an effect on the other brain chemicals such as neurotransmitters, and help to control non-movement symptoms. And one of the main therapies of Parkinson's is levodopa, which nerve cells in the brain use to make dopamine. People typically take levodopa along with other medication called carbidopa, which helps prevent some of the side effects of levodopa therapy. It is important to note that people living with Parkinson's disease should never stop taking levodopa without consulting with their doctor first. There are also other medication that the doctor may prescribe to treat the Parkinson's symptoms, including dopamine agonist to stimulate dopamine production in your brain, of course, enzyme inhibitor to increase dopamine levels, and datin to reduce the involuntary movement, and anticholinergic drugs to reduce tremors and muscle rigidity. However, not all people are good with those medications, and therefore we still have ways to treat you with non-medication ways. And one of them is called deep brain stimulation. It might sound still medical, but actually it's something that pulls into your brain, as shown on the slide. So this may be recommended because it involves surgically implementing electrodes into the brain and connect them to a small electrical device implemented in the chest. This device stimulates specific areas in the brain that controls the movement and can help stop many of the movement related to the symptoms of Parkinson. Next, we also have other therapies, and those are the common therapies that we also see for a lot of other common diseases, such as physical, occupational, and speech therapies can help with gait and voice disorders, tremors and rigidity, and mental functions decline. A healthy diet can also support overall wellness of a Parkinson diseases person, and for example, those diet can make him more. Also, can use yoga, and those combined with those diets, and overall, we can make this person eventually being reduced its symptoms to Parkinson. Also, not completely cure it, but it's one way to make our life better when we have Parkinson. So, of course, the current researchers are also focusing on, for example, how to completely cure this disease and other fields. And one of them particularly is that says the gut of microbiomes is involved in multiple pathways in the pathogenesis of Parkinson's disease. The findings shows that a wide imbalance in the microbiome composition in persons with Parkinson's disease. The investigators employed metagenomics, the study of genetic material recovered directly from the stool microbiome of persons with PD and neurologically health control subjects. And also, I think more importantly and more interestingly is that current studies also associate the popular AI right now to the discovery of new ways to treat the Parkinson's disease. So people are now applying artificial intelligence-based algorithms to model and cluster longitudinal PD progression trajectory from the Parkinson's progression marker initiative. Using a combination of 6 clinical outcome scores covering both motor and non-motor symptoms, they were able to identify specific cluster of PD that showed significantly different patterns of PD progression, so can identify those parts. And the inclusion of genetic variants and biomarker data allowed them to associate the established progression cluster with distinct biological mechanisms, such as perturbation in vesicle transport or neuroprotection. Furthermore, they found that patients of identified progression cluster showed significant difference in their responsiveness to symptomatic treatment. Taken together, their work contributed to a better understanding of the heterogeneity encouraged when examining and treating patients with PD, and point toward potential biological pathways and genes that could underline those differences. And for all of those efforts, we're now making the Parkinson's diseases easier to treat and less horrible than before. So that's all of the presentation today. I hope you understand this disease, Parkinson's disease, well than before, and know the treatments and the studies that we're focusing on right now, and know the causes and the danger of this disease. And again, my name is Robbie.
My name is Timmy.
And my name is Leo.
And thank you for your listening.